On June 6, 1944, 19 young men from a small town in Virginia climbed into a landing craft headed for Normandy. And by the end of the day, most of them would be dead. Before the telegrams stopped arriving, an entire town would be changed forever. The town was Bedford, Virginia. Small, quiet, the kind of place where everybody knew everybody else's parents, and most of the young men who enlisted together had grown up together. They went to school together, played football together, and eventually worked together. And when America entered World War II, many joined the National Guard unit that became Company A of the 116th Infantry Regiment. They trained together for years. Then came June 6, 1944, D-Day, the invasion of Normandy. And among the first Americans sent towards Omaha Beach that morning were the men from Bedford. Now, history often compresses D-Day into maps, arrows, and grand strategy. But for the soldiers inside those landing craft, it was confusion, cold seawater, machine gun fire, and explosions, men becoming casualties before they even reached the sand. Many soldiers drowned under the weight of their own equipment. Others were cut down immediately after the ramps dropped. The German defenses overlooking Omaha Beach turned the shoreline into chaos, and Company A was hit catastrophically hard. One Bedford soldier after another disappeared into the smoke, water, and gunfire. By the end of the invasion, 19 men from Bedford had been killed. 19 men from one small American town. Today, Bedford's population sits around 6,000 people. In 1944, it was much smaller. The losses struck street after street, family after family. Parents answered doors to see military officers standing outside. Mothers, who had spent years hanging service flags in windows, suddenly found themselves planning funerals instead. That is part of what Memorial Day asks societies to remember. Not simply that wars occur, but that the burden is often carried unevenly by ordinary communities whose names the wider country barely notices. For Bedford, the war was not abstract foreign policy. It was empty seats at church, friends who never came home. It was fathers losing sons. And perhaps the most haunting part is this. Most of those young men probably believed they were simply doing what was expected of them. No speeches, no certainty of glory, just doing their duty. The willingness to move forward into terrifying uncertainty because the people beside them were moving forward too. The men at Omaha Beach did not know whether history would remember them. Most soldiers never do. They only knew that free societies survive if someone is willing to stand between civilization and the people trying to destroy it. And on that beach in France, thousands did exactly that. The Bedford Boys became part of one of the most important military operations in human history. But back home, the cost was deeply personal. One town, 19 dead. An absence that lingered for generations. Today, the National D-Day Memorial stands in Bedford, Virginia, not because Bedford was the largest town, but because proportionally, it suffered one of the highest known per capita losses in the nation on D-Day. Perhaps that is the truest Memorial Day story of all. Not abstract patriotism, not slogans, just ordinary Americans who carried extraordinary burdens, and the families who carried the loss afterwards. That's another story in freedom's long history.